Hello, hello. How is everyone today? Fine, I hope. As you can see, it's a very bright, sunny day here in old Ellicott City, Maryland. Very bright, very sunny, blue skies, no clouds, but there is a definite bite in the wind, and the temperature is like, I don't know, 30 something degrees, give or take. So it's a bit chilly out here. So that's why I'm kind of I'm hiding behind this big old tree to um to block my view, right? I mean, not block my view, to block me from the wind because it's making my nose cold. So anyway, we got a few minutes before I can actually start here. So I'm just beating my gums for exercise here. Um, oh goodness. I don't know if you can see behind me. Well, yeah, you can. There's the subject of this morning's tour looming big and beautiful. That is the side of the institute, or what's left of it, known as stabilized ruins, which I will get more in depth with as soon as the tour clock starts ticking. Just in about 2 minutes here now, I think. So, hope everyone else is doing well. Everybody good out there? Right. This is a bit of a deviation from my normal Ellicott City tours, my haunted Ellicott City tours. This is not a haunted one. Well, I mean, this is a haunted building and there are ghosts here, but they are not the subject of today's tour. The actual school and the history of it are our focus today. A little historical lesson and a little glimpse into the past as well. You'll see. Yes, you will. Oh, it's cold. Oh, I have to say, I think once I start reading what I have for you, I'm going to sit in my car and do it. And I'll have this camera focused on the school. So that'd be kind of nice. I'll get a little bit warm and, you know, whatever works, eh? All right. So I don't know. I don't know if you can hear it. There's a kind of a like a roar, a very subtle, soft roar, almost almost reminds you of the wind blowing because it is a bit windy too, and you can see the wind coming up from the valley through the trees here. But that's not what it is because this particular roar keeps on going and going and going. So, um, yeah, it's the river. It's the river way, 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 way far below. And I'll show you that as well in a bit. But we are we're on one of the highest hills in Ellicott City, Church Hill, um, or Courthouse Hill, uh, off of Church Street here. So it's uh, one of 7 hills that surround the valley that holds Ellicott City. And we are on the tallest of those 7 hills. They're called the 7 hills. Some of them are spooky. Yeah, some of them are spooky. Supposedly, there is one hill, um, how does it work? One hill, if you take your foot off the gas, I think it is, um, gravity will pull you up the hill. The car will still go up the hill. I don't know, something weird. Is there such thing as a gravity ghost? I don't know. All right. Ooh, it's 11:30. It is time to rock and roll. Hello, everybody. Sharon Schultz here, also known as the Bay Lady. I come to you from Maryland. Uh, right now, I'm in this little city called Ellicott City. Ellicott City is one of my very favorite places. I've done a lot of tours here, about to do another. Ellicott City is the most haunted little city in the country. I am sure of it. It just has way too much paranormal activity here. But that is not what we are about today. Okay. While this particular structure behind me is on my haunted Ellicott City tour list, we talk about a young girl who lived and died there and has yet to go home. But that's not today. Today we're looking at the historical aspect of this institution. And there's the facts. We'll learn about the history, and then we'll learn about everyday life in the school from the very girls themselves that were boarders here and educated here in their own words. So this should be a very cool thing, right? Um, let's see. So, just a little bit of housekeeping here. Um, my tours are tip supported. So, I keep on going thanks to the generosity of the explorers and travelers who come along with me. Oh, hey, Sarah. Nice to see you. Nice. Well, I can't see you, but Um, for those that wonder, this live stream is appearing simultaneously on YouTube and on Facebook. And so there is a chat that um, for both, but I can see both, but people on Facebook can only see the Facebook chat, and people on YouTube can only see the YouTube chat. So if I stop and say something weird, you may not necessarily um, uh, understand, but I'm probably talking to, mentioning someone else that commented. So anyway, I'm tip supported. So if you can and would want to buy me a cup of coffee, that's where you'll find a place to tip and what have you. Buy me a coffee. The website is listed on my Facebook page and my YouTube page. And if you want to hang out with me in the future, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and my Facebook page as well, so that you will get notifications when I'm doing my next tour or whatever. So all right, I am going to turn this camera off me. Camera, turn my back camera on. All right. Oh, there you have the tree I was hiding behind. Here's the hill that we're on. I don't know how well you can see, but there is a house down there quite a bit, way down. And then the river is way, way down there past that. So we're on this little mountainy road here. As you can see, lots of hills. Okay. But then right here, this is the subject of today's tour. Um, those are called stabilized ruins. Okay. Now, I don't know if you can see, maybe if you do a screenshot and make it bigger, you can see inside. the walls. But when uh, when I was first introduced to the site here, it was in the 1970s, and the building was in literal ruins. It had a fire, and took out the floors and the ceiling and just about everything, and then sat in ruins for 30 years. That's how it was when I first came upon it. Then years later, the county was interested, and they purchased the land, and they restored it to what is called stabilized ruins. You can go in, you can walk through it. There are no windows, just the places where they were, doorways, same. No stairs. Uh, there's are no floors, no roof. The inside is just basically open, but there are some breathtaking fireplaces in there, stone fireplaces. And so, if you notice, it's stone, right? And that goes back to the granite. It all came here. Uh, the granite was mined here in Ellicott City. It came from these seven hills, so it built many, many, many structures. Now over here, a little bit down there, if you can see, there's some old stones there. It looks like a kind of a foundation or a wall or whatever, some type of outbuilding, of which they had many. Up top there, that's an ice house, used to be the ice house. It's a separate freestanding building. Of course, I don't think that it really has an authentic roof, particularly. It looks like that vinyl stuff that they use on log cabins. And you can see it from another view here. And those blue beams are what makes it stable. They actually, in some places, they disassembled the walls and rebuilt them so they would be stronger. Here too, you can see some rocks and things where looks like they started excavating. I know they have a couple more excavating sites nearby. So this school, okay, well, first of all, Ellicott City, or Ellicott Mills as it was called then, is a Quaker community. It was founded by Quakers from Pennsylvania nearby. And Quakers believed in family quite a bit. And Ellicott City had a huge number of schools and churches. They still do. Of course, not all of them are operational, I guess. Um, bear with me here. I'm trying. Let me show you. There is snow on the ground in front of me. Not a lot of it, no problem, just a little icy. So, and this is a little bit of a hill. So, I'm just trying to make sure I'm sure-footed here. And there you can see the backside of the house of the school now. Now, um, as I said, Ellicott City was really big on education, and this school was so far ahead of its time. Okay, it was built in 1837, and at that time, proper young ladies didn't go to school. They, learned what they would at home. Education was for the males, for the men. So the Patapsco Female Institute um, totally disregarded that trend, and instead they geared the school to appeal to young ladies from the ages of 12 through 18. They would board here, and of course, they would learn, the basics. But they're also going to have the choice of learning languages and art and things of that nature. So here we are. They're definitely excavating over that way. But here we are again, the backside of the mansion. So their students were from primarily southern plantations. They were the schools for the rich, obviously, for the privileged. And although they did have scholarships that they awarded to women who lived here in the area, to local girls. So that was kind of nice. They would, give them tuition free and have the opportunity to learn about the school. So, at any rate, it opened in 1837, and it cost like $200 to go here, and you were here for the whole year. And you were assigned a room, and you would have a roommate, and you would be responsible for taking care of your room, uh, cleaning it up, whatever was necessary or needed. So there was that. Also, if you were a student here, there were extras that you would have to pay for. Like if you were taking music lessons, it would cost a little bit extra because of the instrument involved and things of that nature. Now, some of these girls that attended the school were very, very spoiled. Some didn't want to be here, but their parents kind of forced them. The school had to deal with many situations where they, had to make a really spoiled little girl see the reality of life out in the world. So it was an interesting concept. Now, let me see. I need to see where I want to put the phone down. Put this down so you can see. Hang on. Because I need to. All right, let's try this. Ta 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 ta. See how good this is. Oh, because I need it near me too, because shoot, the window's in the way, isn't it? Oh, I got a better idea. I know. Hold on. Don't go anywhere, anyone. Hold on. Let's do this. We're gonna take it out the window. Yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. Put the right key in here. Okay. Oh, this is so much fun. Have to improvise. All right. Is this going to get it? Let's see. Oh, this kind of sucks. I can't quite get it, can I? Well, I know you don't want to look at me. And I know you don't want to look at my card tool. So I guess I'll have to figure out how to hang on to this while I read, which is okay. It's doable. All right, let me go sit over here where I can hold this and we can see. It's about logistics, right? All right, let's see how long I can sit here holding this in one spot. All right, so there you are. up on the hill. All right, so about this little school. Okay, so it is it was okay. The scholarships that they were able to award local girls were $100 each, and the cost for the boarding students was $200, and that would be like for the semester, the school year, what have you. Um, there were several well-known people here that attended this school. Um, like, let's see, oh, Thomas Jefferson's great great granddaughter. In fact, her name was Sarah Robbins Randolph, and she was actually a headmistress here at the school. Actually, the last headmistress before the school closed. It didn't do well after the Civil War. In fact, they had to close before then because it wasn't safe. They had, as I said, a number of uh, girls attending from southern plantations, and Maryland was a Union state on the federal side. So there was a bit of political clash in there, I do believe. Um, anyway, once the school closed again, it, sat empty for a while. But then in like the early 1900s, it was made into a hotel. It was transformed into the Berg Allenwick on Patapsco Heights. The Berg Allenwick on Patapsco Heights. And then after that, it was a World War One hospital where it treated wounded, that were shipped back for, care, what have you. And so this building here evidently made a fine, um, evidently made a fine thing, a fine hospital. Now, that kind of is makes me wonder a bit because back in the day when the girls were going to school here, um, the building was heated only by the fireplaces. There's massive stone fireplaces, granite fireplaces, and there was heated only by that. So the girls had their rooms where they slept on the upper floor. The majority of the fireplaces were on the lower floor, and then down in the basement, that's where a lot of their classes were. And if you think about these stone walls, the cold winters, a lot of these little southern belles came from, Georgia, the Carolinas. They didn't have winters like this there. Okay, so they were not used to the cold. So uh, some of the girls, took ill and such. The conditions were not always perfect, I suppose. Once it was a hospital. When that was no more, it kind of kind of fell by the wayside again. Eventually, the county purchased it. As I said, they stabilized it. Today, it is a historical park. It's on the historical registers. It's open to the public certain times. This is not one. Otherwise, we'd be in there. But they've closed for the winter. They'll open again in the spring, I would imagine, probably sometime around May. I think they stay open from May through September. So, actually, if you look back on my YouTube or videos, you'll probably see one from the inside. Also, there's a Shakespeare theater company, Shakespearean theater company, that in those months, May to September, will put on Shakespearean plays out here with the building as the stage, and then people have chairs and they sit out on the lawn and watch. It's really a nice kind of thing. Oh, actually, I think you'll see clips of that on my YouTube video as well. So, yeah. All right. So, what I wanted to do here is just read you some information. This is still the Howard County Historical Society still has their foot in the door here. They are here to maintain whatever is needed, keep the grounds clear. And again, there is excavations going in. Mm, okay. This is from the Howard County Historical Society. Well, the sun's bright up there, isn't it? Okay, the Howard County Historical Society has recently acquired photocopies of two letters written by students at the Patapsco Female Institute in Ellicott Mills. Written in 1847, they give a glimpse of the regime at the famous girls' school during its early years of operation, as well as an idea of the makeup of the student body. The writer of the letters was Mary Stone, daughter of William and Catherine Stone of Port Tobacco in Charles County, Maryland. The prominent Stone family of Southern Maryland provided the signer of the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Stone, as well as two governors, William Stone and John Hoskins Stone. The letters are transcribed, complete with their quaint sentence structures and punctuation, as well as misspellings. Presumably, Miss Stone's writing abilities blossomed as she progressed through the rigid curriculum of the Institute. May 20th, 1847. Dearest Mama, I am seated at a window in the schoolroom to write to you, and I am sure you wish to hear from me and wish me to write whenever I have time. It is one of my greatest pleasures now to write home or to Grant. Therefore, I hope you will forgive my taking that pleasure so often, particularly as I know it gives all at home so much pleasure to hear that I am even tolerably happy. I received your letter rather unexpectedly last Monday, for I had almost given up the hope of receiving a letter for a week or two. If however, gave me a great deal of pleasure, of course. I had a letter from Grant on Saturday, and as I had nothing else to do, I answered it immediately after I received it. He seems very much pleased with Mount Auburn. By the class below, the certificate is meant, I believe, the class which will receive your certificate next term, which will be from October to April. I expect to get one next April, but I had rather have a diploma. Mary Stone, Betty Mitchell, and myself have a nice little room all to ourselves. We get up generally when the bell rings for the servants to get up, as though we are not required, which is a little before 4. We then dress and clean our rooms. I tell Betty I think she would be astonished if she can see how well I can make up a bed and sweep a room. I shall astonish all at home in October by getting up so early and cleaning my room. That is, if I don't love to sleep too well. The girls take it by turns to take care of their rooms. Mary Stone was roomkeeper last week, and I was this. Gwinnett and Ginny arrived on Tuesday. I do think Ginny is very well contented. She has had several cries already. Gwinnett and Ginny cannot room with us, as only four can be in a room, and they did not like to be separated. I am in a class with Miss Stone in everything. I have written until it is too dark to write anymore, so I must conclude, as I do not like to run the risk of not getting my letter tomorrow. Give my love to all the family and all who may be kind as to inquire for me. Please write to me very soon and very often. Trim must write very often. I remain your devoted nanny. Okay, let's see. I sent some silken beads and I am knitting a purse for grandma. Ain't I smart? The girls join in love to all. This morning I have time to add a few lines to my letter. I like school very much. We have a very pleasant time. Let's see. Very pleasant time. The hours for study, practicing, etc., are willingly obeyed. For I hope we all love studying. I think I like it rather better than I used to. The school goes on almost like clockwork. We rise early, clean our rooms, eat breakfast, then exercise, then study until school, which opens with prayers. um, the morning is divided into five divisions of 3/4 of an hour each. Those hours, the girls have no lessons to recite. They study in their rooms. The first hour, I say my logic lesson. The second hour, I practice. Third and fourth, astronomy and philosophy. Fifth, I study in my room and I take two drawing, two singing, and two music lessons a week, and French lessons every day. Practice 2 hours a day. We have particular study hours, but we do not stop when they are out unless we know our lessons. God bless you, my dear friends, in the prayer of your affectionate child, Nanny. Okay, June 7th, 1847. Dearest Mother, after the regular study hour on Saturday, the officer, Miss Lee, took the girls to walk. It was a delightful morning, and we enjoyed ourselves very much, ascending the lofty hills and gathering the beautiful flowers which grow in great abundance. General Chapman was here last Monday week. He informed me he had recently seen father and you were all well. I had the pleasure of seeing Mr. Stonestreet a short time, the day before yesterday, and though not very well acquainted with him, it was delightful to see anyone from Charles County. I am very well, and as pleased with the school as when I wrote before, am exerting myself to approve in everything I undertake. Thus far, I have succeeded quite well. All of the young ladies, with a few exceptions, are now in the salon enjoying themselves by dancing. Betty Mitchell and myself have never attended, as we have not desired it and have always had something of more importance to perform. I must now bid you good night, as the bell for us to retire has rung. Your devoted daughter, Mary Stone. Postscript. Good morning, dear sister. How are you all today? The rising bell has not rung, but I have been up some time and have made my toilet, spread my bed, and am now seated in the schoolroom writing a few hurried lines. But hope you will excuse them, as I have a different lesson to master before breakfast. Should like very much to know what you are so busy about when you write. You must not forget to tell me. I am extremely obliged to you for preserving some strawberries for me, and I hope I shall have the pleasure of tasting them in October. I have only one of my dresses made yet, but expect to get another this week. When you write again, you must give me an account. November 30th, 1847. My anticipations were agreeably realized. My darling father, when I received your affectionate letter yesterday at noon, was happy to hear that you were all well as when I left home, and hopes sister will get rid of the interruption which annoys her as present. So far, I have been very well and quite comfortable, and though deprived of the company of my relatives and comforts of home, cannot but say I am glad that I come to school this winter, and if I can only keep well, shall study to improve in all that I have commenced, and hope I shall return in the spring, possessing more wisdom and virtue than at present. In reference to exercising in the open air, I must inform you that I scarcely ever have time, except a short time in the morning when I am not room keeper. This week I am not, so I shall walk every morning if possible. I suppose sister received my letter on Monday, and I hope she will. Whoops, I'm on page 10. And I hope she will reply to it. My pen and ink is very bad this evening, and time is limited, so I must conclude by sending love to all friends. Tell Kate I'll not forget her little book, but remember the promise which she made me about it. In haste, your devoted daughter, Mary Stone. P.S. I fear Betty Mitchell may not return, but tell her when you see her next, I would be delighted to see her at the Institute. Your Mary. So, let's see, we've got one more. This is dated October 29th, 1848. Dear brother and sister, the time is again drawing near when I must have a letter ready to mail to Sheffield, and in order that I may be very punctual, I have commenced it at this early hour. It is now nearly 3 o'clock Sabbath afternoon. I have just finished a recitation in the Bible class, of which Mr. Clark, the chaplain, is the teacher, and at 3:30 the afternoon services commence. So you see, I have but a few minutes to devote to writing, but shall have more leisure after the meeting. I directed a letter to father last Wednesday, which Miss Phelps was to inspect before it was mailed. Elizabeth directed one to James at the same time. These inspection letters we are all obliged to write once a month, besides compositions every week. So you see, we are not likely to forget how to write and shall have opportunity for improvement. The Sabbath evening, and here we are seated around our little table, Elizabeth reading, Emmeline and myself writing. I wish I could just step in and see if there is not an air of comfort in our little room. As you cannot, just imagine that you see us, as I said before, seated by our table in a room. The exact dimensions I cannot give you, with, besides the beds, a bureau with a drawer for each of us and a mirror hanging over it, a bookcase for our books, a table or washstand, a drawer for soap, toothbrushes, hairbrushes, combs. There's also two chairs, two stools nearly as high as the seat of a chair, which we use for seats, and my trunk, which makes a very convenient seat. The beds look very nice with their neat white spreads when properly made. The bureau and table are covered with a white spread, and there is a long white curtain at the window, which flats like a blind, which is very convenient when we wish to darken the room. The few here who had the good luck to get a feather bed think themselves highly favored. But for my part, I like a good mattress much better. The window in our chambers opens to the north, and a very pleasant view we have from it. The garden, which we see from our window, is very large and divided into squares by alleys which cross it at right angles. Sometimes for a morning walk, I take our pitcher and go down through the garden, following the ragged path which leads to a spring of clear, cool water, which reminds me of the spring from which I had carried so many pitchers of water in the days of old. Remember me to father, Abner's folks, and all who will inquire after me. Do Frank, Ellen, and Georgie go to school? Tell them not to forget me. Do not let Carrie forget how to sing. How does Jane call her little girl? What does Jane call her little girl? How are Mary's little eyes? Please write soon and accept this from your sister Angeline. You must answer this even if you think it not worth answering. Tell Frank I would like to have him write to me. And there you have it, my friends. Gives you an idea, a little insight of what like was life here in the 1850s, 1840s. It grew and grew. At one point, it grew. I think initially it started with 12 students, and in its heyday, it held 60, I believe. It's 60 students here. Now, keep in mind, not all were boarders. As I said, they did award scholarships to young ladies that lived here locally in the Ellicott City Mills area, age 12 to 18. And those girls were able to attend classes here, and then they went home as opposed to boarding. So it kind of gave, I guess it was an attempt to be inclusive, right? So, and that was back in, 1840 something. So, um, I guess it's been a project. All right, well, let's see here. I think it is time for me to turn the camera around. Let's see. Here we go. Settings, camera. Oh, don't hit me, truck. Turn it around. Did that work? Yes, it did. There I am. Okay. All right, well, there's a UPS truck making noise. All right, well, folks, time for me to go. I have places to go, people to see, all that good stuff. Um, if you like this tour, please follow me, subscribe to me, join me, and yeah. And what else? Let's see. Oh, next tour tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Okay, yeah. Um, I think I have a minute mystery tour tomorrow, like at 2 o'clock. Minute Mysteries. It's a little half hour hump day break, midday break, um, away from your routine to you know, use your sleuthing skills, right? And your observance powers or what have you. So anyway, oh yeah, cool. Well, Sarah, I guess I will see you next time. And everybody else out there, thank you for joining me. You can catch me later too. I don't know how long these videos stay posted on YouTube and stuff, but I'm sure it'll be long enough to catch up. All right, everybody. Thank you. Bye.